is a difference between you and me. We both looked into the abyss. But when it looked back at us, you blinked.
Hi guys, Angreifer here, and this is a DC Legends video. In this video, I'm going to give you kind of a preview of what I do, or what I'm going to do on my Patreon account, which is my Patreon is 100% DC Legends, so there's only DC Legends content there, and there's different kinds of videos that I'll put on the Patreon that I'm not going to put on YouTube, just extra content, and one of them is basically roster advice. So, roster advice, what I do is I will take someone's roster, you send me your roster, I'll look through it and give just my opinions on what you should do. Not the end all be all, but just like to give a direction. So I had someone actually hit me up, Shamil, hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. Shamil, he sent me his roster. He sent me a bunch of screenshots of his roster. And he actually was asking me in the comment section of one of my YouTube videos what he should do to get past like the 4th node of Nightmare Campaign. Now, first of all, going through his roster, well, this should be the first of all. When it comes to Nightmare Campaign, his roster isn't deep enough to, or strong enough to really get very far in it. So getting to node 4, node 5, actually really good. So be proud of that, be happy with that. But the way his roster is constructed, or not even constructed, just where it is, like where he is in the game. Nightmare Campaign is supposed to be in-game content, and his roster is far from in-game. So that's the first tip. Now, if you're looking at what you want to do in Nightmare Campaign, one of the biggest things is survivability. A second big thing is permanent buffs. So 2 things that he has already that are great for Nightmare Campaign in particular: Superwoman 7011, Black Flash 7011. Black Flash is used a lot in Nightmare Campaign to basically like turn meter lock the opposing team. So if you can just keep them from going, then it's kind of hard for them to hit you, right? Next, you have Superwoman, who gets permanent empowered strength up, so that means she's going to be hitting hard in the beginning, but then she's going to be hitting harder and harder and harder as the battle goes on. So the kind of tunes that lean towards that way are like, you know, your Grodd, permanent speed ups, your Larfleeze, your permanent int ups. Spectre now has permanent int ups as well, so just off the top of my head, those are the ones that I would say like are more PvE/Nightmare Campaign friendly. Now, as I say that, those can, oh, also, no, I think I've already said that. So those tunes, not just from a Nightmare Campaign perspective, but PvE content in general are great outside of Red Alerts, because Red Alerts is kind of like a mix. It's a PvE kind of thing. Some of the teams are PvP based, if I'm not mistaken, but you don't have the consistency of going through waves, so they don't really benefit you there. So if I was giving advice on what to do for Nightmare Campaign, you can't really worry about Nightmare Campaign at this point. It's going to be building your roster, building your roster, building your roster. Now, as I go through his roster, which I have all these screenshots of what he should be doing, I'm going to try to go through each individual screenshot just to give like, hey, this is where you should be focusing, or here are some tunes that you should be focusing on that you haven't focused on to this point. So first of all, going back to the very, very beginning, and this is going to be a combination of if you can get them, cool, but if you can't, don't worry about it. That was the star girl from the thumbnail that I made. All right, so from the beginning, Superwoman was great to take 7011. I think that she probably took her 7011 too soon, but that's fine. Another question that he asked was that because he took 3 of his tunes 7011, now he has this issue of imbalance when it comes to Red Alerts and sometimes his PvP battles. So he was wondering, is there anything that you could do about that? And honestly, no. You took the leap a little bit too soon. You have some 60-10 characters, as I can see here. But once you've gone to 70-11, you can't exactly reverse it. And the algorithm bases what you're going to fight on the top 4 to 8 tunes. It's unclear if it's like the top 8 or it's the top 4. But then it bases it on those numbers. And if you have one that goes way up, and the rest of your roster is still kind of low, then you end up causing a huge imbalance. So that's why a lot of players will say, don't just go from 60 to 70. Go from 60 to 62 to 64. And like pick your 8. Pick your 8 tunes that you want to do this with, 10 tunes, whatever. And just go from 60 to 62 with all 8 of them. Then 62 to 64, 64 to 66, and so on and so forth. Just do it slowly, just because then it won't be such a strain on your resources, number one. Number two, You won't throw off the balance of the algorithm, so you can still complete your red alerts, which is a huge place to get resources, etc., etc. So as I'm giving advice, another portion of this is I'm going to lean towards the idea that he has a free-to-play account. And part of what I say with free-to-play accounts is don't necessarily buy gem packs unless you're just trying to buy a small gem pack to unlock that tune for your alliance missions. Or if it's just if it's a tune that you really, really love, you really, really want it, fine. Like this game is for fun. You're not actually like trying to save up for a pension or anything. So if you see, for example, I am very, very anti-buying packs. However, I did spend 7,500 gems on the Spectre pack to make sure that I could get him RB1 because I wanted him to be RB1. I mean, I am really, really not a fan of buying packs, but I bought that one. You know what I mean? So like, it's still, if it's for entertainment, so don't stress out too much about it. But if you prefer to save and not buy packs, that is advisable to me. Or save it for the packs that you really, really want. Kaga, for example, Castaway Green Arrow. In the last 2 years, I can remember the 2 packs that I bought, Kaga and Spectre. And that was, yeah, I bought his pack in 2020, and then I bought the Spectre pack this year. So that's how rare I do it. Anyway, that's going on to a whole nother topic. All right, so you have Chemo, you have Black Flash. Good job on having Black Flash L4. Good job on having Superwoman L5. I probably would have just kept her at L4, maybe L3, but no, not a problem per se. Now, on this list alone, I would say since you're already at 70-11, you might as well just make the push character by character, just straight up to 70-11. So now it's who would you put up next for that 70-11? On this list, or what I'm seeing right now, it's going to be either Cheetah or Arcus. As much as people think I don't, well, that may not be fair. I say Starfire is better, but Arcus is an incredible, incredible, incredible tune. He's incredibly farmable. He's incredibly powerful. He'll help you out a lot in PvP. So Arcus or Cheetah. You should be farming some Cheetah, but there's a bit of advice I gave him before that I'm going to say later. So Cheetah should be on your list to farm. Not the top of the list right now, but on the list. Arcus, definitely just push him up to 70-11. Cheetah, even at L3, she's good, so I would say push her up to 70-11 as well. As far as who would be next, the reason why I would say Cheetah over Arcus next has nothing to do with Arcus. Arcus is a better tune. However, the utility that Cheetah has for PvP is going to be more useful to you in PvP because Cheetah and Martian Manhunter, when they're at lead, you're going to have either a really, really good defensive team to deal with the fact that they manipulate turn meter from the beginning and your team is going to go last, or you need to have a Cheetah or Martian Manhunter to be able to match with their turn meter, and you already have the Black Flash, King of PvP. So if you have Cheetah up at 70-11, paired with Black Flash, then you can meet most problems, 99% of the problems, unless they have a Brainiac on their side, or Shiva or Batwoman on their side. You're going to be able to handle 99% of the problems. And even when there's a Lady Shiva or a Batwoman, you have Chemo as a taunter, so that kind of deters Lady Shiva or Batwoman from taking out Black Flash in the very beginning. So I would say Cheetah, just for that turn meter manipulation, should be above Arcus on your list of who to take 70-11 next, but Arcus should be up there as well. Like, he's definitely worth it. You already have him L4. Dove can be infuriating and a great tune. I have her 70-11. I don't use her really as much as I thought I would. She is fun, but I would say not right now. You know what I mean? Like, she's a luxury. Jericho's a luxury. Cheetah, Arcus, necessary. Lady Shiva, I see here on the side. She doesn't hit as hard as I would want her to do. She's good, but also a luxury at this point in your account. Huntress, exceedingly underrated. You can already have enough to take her L4. And this may be like not controversial, but a lot of people had to agree with it. I think she's one of the top 5 underrated tunes. I've started a list. And so like, if it's not top 5, top 10, I think she's incredible. I run her with Spectre and Black Flash a lot lately just because she cleans up the messes when you just have those tunes that are in the red and they haven't fallen. She wipes them out. So I would say maybe not level her up, but have her on that list. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. So the 2 at the top of that list that I'm going to say at the moment should be Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, and Cheetah. Those should be the next 2, whichever order you want. I would lean towards Cheetah again, for the turn meter over Green Lantern, who gives you the debuff immunity. He's incredible as well. He's boring, but he's boring because he's consistent and good. So those would be the two tops, then Arcus. So far, in my view, you have Flash. I think Flash is incredible, absolutely amazing, so much fun to play with. Is he great? No. Plus, you have him L1, and you're going to have to farm him a lot more. By the way, these tunes that I'm naming that are farmable, go ahead and farm your Green Lantern Hal Jordan. Go ahead and farm your Cheetah. However, the one that you should be farming above all of them, I would say, is Lex SS, which we had a discussion about it, so I'm going to get to it when I get to that screenshot. But Lex SS is incredible. Cheetah is incredible, but you already have her L3. You already have Green Lantern Hal Jordan L3. You need to go ahead and farm up to get your Lex up to L3, and then you can go from there. All right, so then all these other... General Zod. General Zod may be someone you can't really farm his frags. You already have him L3, which is a great place to have him. You may want to push him up to 70-11 after Arcus, because you're going to run into invasion teams, and Zod is going to be your solution to those evasion teams, as I'm assuming you don't have Starfire or Terra at a higher level. So if you need someone to deal with evasion teams, I would say General Zod is someone you should put on that work on to-do list. So far we have Cheetah, Green Lantern Hal Jordan, Arcus, and General Zod. Huntress is a little bit more of a luxury, so I'm not going to really put her in that go ahead and definitely work on her list, but she is great. She is really, really great. All right, so moving on. No one on this list is anyone that you should worry about at the moment. Hawk Girl, when you get the time, not right now, go ahead and farm her. She's good. Azrael, you only have him R5, and so he's not going to be the beast that he could be in PvP. So if you see his frags anywhere, get them. But at the moment, like right now, he should not be your focus. Put your resources elsewhere. Ultraman, you don't have enough frags to really make him any better. Wonder Woman POT, I do farm her frags, and she is great in the mid game. So farm those frags. However, at L1, I would say not so much. Like, don't really worry about her so much. So there you go. Starfire, you have her L2. An L4 Arcus is going to be better than an L2 Starfire. And putting resources into Starfire, a tune that is not farmable at the moment, Just don't worry about the resources right now. Just let her sit. Bane is incredible in the mid game. He really is, and you already have enough to take him L2. Don't be shy about farming those frags, but again, I wouldn't say that's absolutely necessary at the moment. Star Sapphire, work on her. She is going to be on that list of, you got Cheetah, you got Green Lantern Hal Jordan, you got Arcus, you got Lex that you should be working on in terms of farming and leveling up. I've also put General Zod on that list. Next would be Star Sapphire. Star Sapphire should probably even be before General Zod in the sense of that A3 that gives buff immunity, intelligence downs, and strength downs, on top of the fact that she heals. Like, she gives a lot of sustainability. She gives mins when teammates buff. She gives damage immunity, or is it damage immunity, I believe? Or awareness when she dies, and health when she dies. Star Sapphire's on that list. You need to work on your Star Sapphire. Plus, she's farmable, and you already have enough frags to take her L4. Like, she needs to be on that list of 70-11s that should be going up there. Like, so far, I think I've named like 6. So, and I said put 8 up there. You already have 3. So, like, you can take one off the list if you want to, but I would say Star Sapphire probably over General Zod, right on par with Arcus in terms of Arcus brings the damage and can just wipe things out. However, if you are in a sticky situation, Star Sapphire can give you a good amount of heals and can give you mins and things like that to help your team survive, and then also weaken the other team with those debuffs. Terra, you do have Terra at L. You can take Terra to L3. You have a Green Lantern who is at. So, remove Hal Jordan from that list. Hal Jordan is a great lead. He really, really is. Terra's better because of the debuff immunity. She has a debuff immunity and a can't miss on her A1. Hal has that can't miss hammer that purges buffs on his A3, which is great against Harley Quinn. However, Terra is outright better. So I would, and you do have enough frags to take her L3. Your Hal Jordan right now is at L3. He has 188 over 180. So you can take him L3, but you haven't done it yet. I would say replace Tara on that list. So instead of doing Hal Jordan, do Tara. She does exactly what he does, except off lead. She gives that debuff immunity, and she can keep giving it, which he does not do. Tara is an incredible tune, so I would put Tara there above Hal Jordan. So remove Hal Jordan from that. He should still be leveled. He's still good. But in terms of priorities as to what to do right now, Tara goes over Hal Jordan. Okay. Moving on down the list, Black Lightning is a good healer, but not great. Donna Troy would be great for Nightmare campaign. That helps with that sustainability, that survivability for the entire team. You do not have a frax to do anything with her. Mr. Freeze. Nobody on this list is anybody you should really be worried about. Etrigan, you can farm in red alerts. He is a good heavy hitting blue that will come in handy in the mid game. So make sure when you see him in red alerts, maybe refresh it once or twice just to get those frags to build him up. He is strong. He is really, really good. But don't make him a priority. He's on that second tier. Don't make him a priority at the moment, but he is strong and good. Next, we have Brainiac. Like right now, we're getting to the area where you have a lot of frags for tunes that aren't necessarily farmable. Like Doomsday, I think is farmable. No, he's not. And don't worry about him. Brainiac, as soon as you could get him to legendary status, it would be great. Parasite, I have a lot of fun with. Is he good? No. Yeah, so that we go by. Stripe, I have fun with Stripe, but is he good? No. I think we're coming to the end of your list. Deadshot Hired Gun is really, really good, and he is used. I use him in the mid game a lot to compose teams that would be like just single shot teams. I called it my heavy hitters, and that's where I would have like Deadshot Hired Gun, Black Adam, Larfleeze, who then was replaced by Arcus after he got his latest rework, which is like 2 years ago. And then there was someone else I would have on that team. And basically what I would do is, since at lead everyone crits, I would use Deadshot Hired Gun, and all of them were heavy hitters, and they would all crit for their first move, wipe out the teams. If anyone survived, if it wasn't Black Adam who was going to take him out, then it was going to be Larfleeze. If it wasn't Larfleeze, Deadshot Hired Gun A3 hits pretty damn hard, and I cannot remember who I had in that third spot to save my life right now. I really don't remember. Oops. So, but yeah, it was a very, very effective team. Eclipso will be a good taunter for you. You have enough to take him L3 right now. I would recommend working on him a bit. He's lower on that list. Well, he will be a Mystic taunter for you. And you only have Chemo at this point. So maybe a little bit higher in that list. So Terra, Cheetah, Eclipso, General Zod, Arcus. Those are the ones that I'm leaning towards at the moment. I'm doing a very PvP heavy kind of thought process just because it looks as though you would be pretty set at getting through campaign, heroic campaign. I'm assuming you have. We didn't talk about that part. And so like right now is the balance for your red alerts, so you can farm through your red alerts and building up your PvP team so you can get more frags from those events. Going on down, Power Girl would have been a better taunter to take 70-11 than Chemo. She's absolutely incredible. As even at L3, hell, at L1 in the early game, I was wrecking things. So Power Girl would also be a recommendation for you to work on. Martian Manhunter, when you see those frags, get those frags. But right now, you can't do anything about it. Talia, don't even look at. Grundy may be a better Mystic taunter than Eclipso. In fact, I would say yes, because Eclipso's taunt is based on evasion, which is RNG heavy, which means that there are times it just won't work. And so Grundy is dependent on being a meat shield. So I would say put Grundy above Eclipso. I hope you're taking these notes. I should have been writing this stuff down. Grundy above Eclipso for the ones that you want to deal with. He's going to be your Mystic taunter. Lobo, you don't have enough frags with to really mess with, so I would leave that alone. White Lantern Sinestro, you only have a L2. If you see those frags, get those frags, because at PvP at the level you're at, survivability or being able to revive can be helpful, even in red alerts when you have like, in fact, when it comes to red alerts, White Lantern Sinestro is going to be very, very big for you because you're gonna have a very shallow roster. So When you have White Lantern Sinestro at lead, he will help your team revive and keep those stronger tunes that you have alive for your next battle and your next battle and your next battle. So he may need to be in your top 8 priority list just in terms of survivability for red alerts, depending on where you are with red alerts. So you're going Wally West. We love Wally West. Killer Frost is awesome, but with debuff running around, she's not as awesome as she used to be, but she is really great. Castaway Green Arrow. I don't think you have enough frags to take him more than L1. He is fantastic. If you see the frags, get him, but you a little bit more in game. Wonder Woman Coda. Heavy hitter. Yo, you got a Barda. Okay, the screenshots got mixed. All right, so let me go ahead and write this down real quick for you. Barda needs to be at one of the tops of your next 70-11. Wonder Woman Coda is a huge damage dealer as a mystic. Definitely work on her. Bleeze, I love, but nah. Darkseid is good, but you only have a L2 at the moment, so he do work on him, but not right now. He should not be a priority for you. Lady Shiva is good at L3, but I'm not going to say that she needs to be at the top of your priority list to take 70-11 to try to regain that balance. I think I already looked at Catwoman is pretty awesome, but a very underrated tune, great in the mid game, but I wouldn't worry about her right now. Siren as well, good in the mid game. Deathstroke as well, good in the mid game, but not really one to worry about. Clayface, when you see those frags, get him. He's in the PvP shop right now. Buy the Alliance with the Alliance Essence or whatever. Buy his frags whenever you see them in the PvP shop. Do not draw. Buy them when you see them in that limited time offers section. Batman CC, don't waste any more resources on him. I recorded this before the Batman CC rework was announced, so please forgive me. I don't know if you have to go after those frags or not. I still haven't read his kit yet, but who knows? Maybe that advice was wrong. Hopefully he's a beast now. Kilowog is one of the fastest in the game. Spectre, you have L2. I hope you picked the right legendaries, but Spectre's good. So I would say work on Spectre as well. And then there's a Huntress, Hawk. You've already put too many resources in the Hawk. Swamp Thing can be a beast mid-game. However, I would say he's good to work on, but not right now because he's not in-game viable. He's a luxury, not a necessity at the moment. So that's the end of that. So going back, just to reiterate, and I'm going to keep writing this stuff down for you. Let's see, Shiva. So we got Coda, we got Steel. I wish he was better than what he is. Nope. Kaga is someone to work on, but don't even worry about that so much right now. Nope. I wonder what White Lantern Sinestro, just because of where you are in the game. Grundy, Mystic heavy list right now. Power Girl, PG. Eclipso, not even worrying about it now. After seeing that, not even worry about it. Deadshot Higher Gun, if you want to build that certain specific comp, although it seems like you have enough good leads to not have to worry about him. We're not going to worry about those. No one really on this list because you don't have enough frags and none of them are really farmable. Donna Troy, whenever you see her in the Void Scanner, go ahead and use those lanterns to try to collect those frags. Save your lanterns, guys. Etrigan, farm him if you can, not a high priority. See him in red alerts, try to refresh once or twice just to get the frags. He's great in mid game and he's in game viable. Star Sapphire definitely needs to be a priority. Oh my goodness, I'm giving you way too much to do right now. I apologize if I'm giving you too much homework. Enchantress would be good if she's good at L2. I would lean towards L3 or L4 as her sweet spot. See, Azrael, you don't have enough frags to make him worth it. Dark Knight, no thank you, no thank you. Right now with that event, if you did well enough in it, you probably have enough frags to do Stargirl up to L2. I would wait on that. I put out a video about that. She's a luxury, not a necessity. Zod is an option, but with Terra, he becomes less important. So I'm putting Zod over here on this side. Huntress, she's not as important. She's a luxury, but She's an awesome luxury. Green Lantern Hal Jordan has also just become a luxury because of Terra. Let's see. Then you have your Superwoman. Then you have your Arcus, not a luxury. And then you have your Cheetah, not a luxury. So if I had to give you what you need to work on next, Cheetah for PvP. 1. White Lantern Sinestro to help with your red alerts because you have an imbalance now, and so you're gonna have to push up more tunes, and they are going to die because your roster's shallow. So even if you get by and you just make one mistake and one of them dies, White Lantern Sinestro can kind of override that mistake that you've made. So I would put him at number 2. Barda number 3. In fact, Barda might need to be number 2, but Barda, White Lantern Sinestro number 2, number 3. Then you would have. I'm leaning towards a tie between Terra and Star Sapphire. I'll put them both at number 4. You choose from there. Your Spectre isn't the strongest in the world, so I'm going to put him at number 5. Wonder Woman Coda and Power Girl, I will put at number 6. Wonder Woman, Power Girl, and Terra at number 6, because you're going to run into that evasion. Grundy and Arcus at 7, in terms of just like how the list goes down. So first, I would say work on Cheetah, White Lantern Sinestro, Barda. In fact, probably Barda over White Lantern Sinestro, just because she'll help you with survivability more so than White Lantern Sinestro will in terms of like just reviving you. Then you have next on that list is Star Sapphire. No, you know what? Star Sapphire and Terra should both be number 4. Then number 5, you have Spectre. Number 6 is going to be right there with Wonder Woman Coda and Arcus. And then number 7, Grundy. That's how it would go. And then your luxury items, your ones that you can work on a little bit, but focus on these more, but luxury, but good. Shiva, Swamp Thing, Kaga, Deadshot Hired Gun, Etrigan, Zod, Huntress, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan. Oh, and then on top of everything else, I did not see Lex SS. Maybe I missed him. You need to be farming the hell out of those frags immediately. He would go on the priority list, not on the side list. So, I hope that was helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions. And thank you for joining the Patreon. Well, actually, this is the preview on the YouTube. That's not for the Patreon. That is for the Patreon, but I'm going to give access to everyone for it. But this is what I will do on Patreon for those of you who submit your rosters after you join the Patreon. So, thank you so much to Shamil for giving me your roster, letting me go through it for you. I hope it was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.